Hello children, welcome to my channel English Lessons by Nupur. In the previous video, we had spoken about the poem Ode to Autumn, stanza 1. Today I am going to explain to you the second stanza, and before we begin the explanation of the stanza, I would like to remind you about what we did in the first stanza. In the first stanza, the poet was directly talking to the autumn season, okay, and it was talking to the autumn season and saying that you can be seen around, and everybody thinks that autumn is a dull season, but it's nothing like that. Every season has its own beauty, and you also have your share of beauty. And in the second stanza, the poet is trying to imagine autumn as a person. So that is why in this stanza you will notice that he has used the figure of speech personification. So you know that what is a personification? When a non-living thing is assumed or is imagined to be behaving like a human being, then it is called as personification. So if I say, for example, if I say that I could see the dancing umbrella. I could see a dancing umbrella. So you all are very well aware that an umbrella cannot dance. But I am imagining that the umbrella is dancing and it is behaving like a human being, because humans can dance. And that is why this particular phrase is a personification. So let's see what holds for us in this stanza. So who hath not seen thee often amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor. Thy hair soft lifted by winnowing wind, or on a half-reeved furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swath and all its twined flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy leaden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look. Thou watchest the blast oozings hours by hours. So here the poet is saying that who has not seen you? You means autumn. Who has not seen you often amid thy store? Often here and there we can see you. We can understand as soon as we go outside, we know that this is autumn season. Your presence is everywhere. Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find. So whoever goes out can see you everywhere. Like, now here is the first personification, like thee sitting careless on a granary floor. So thee is you, like you sitting on the granary floor. So granary is a place where the grains after harvest they are stored. Now the poet is saying that we can see you sitting lazily in the granary floor. That means autumn's presence can be seen by the stack of grains which is stored. So in the winter season we never stack grains, because that is not the season to harvest, and that is why when we see that the harvest is kept in the granary, it means that autumn is there. So we can see you in a granary, on the granary floor. Thy hair soft lifted by winnowing wind. So winnowing is a process in which the grain is removed, the skin of the grain is removed, and it is done through blowing a strong wind, and the skin of the grain is very light. It's feather like. So that is why with this air, the gushing air, it flows away from the grain and the grain drops down. And the poet is saying that your hair, it is blowing just like, so lightly, just like the winnowing wind, or on a half-reeved furrow sound asleep. This is the second personification. So half-reeved, you are also seen in the field where the reaper is harvesting the crop with the help of a sickle. So sickle is something which is C-shaped tool, and it is used to cut the crop. And the poet is saying that we can see you on a half-reaped furrow. So that means the reaper is tired now, and the land is not completely harvested and it is half-reaped. We can see you there, and the reaper is sound asleep. because it's a crop of poppies. So poppies is nothing but khaskhas, and when it is said that when the reaping of poppies is done, the fumes are toxicating, and because of which the person starts feeling drowsy, and we can see that you are drowsy and with the fume of poppies. Fume is the smell of poppies, while thy hook and your sickle, and your hook, the sickle, spares the next swath, and the remaining crop is still left to face the blow of that sickle and all its twined flowers, and still half of the land can be seen with the full crops, the full crop that is ready to be harvested. And sometimes like a gleaner thou dost keep. And this is the third personification, where the author is saying, the poet is saying that we can see you like a gleaner. So gleaner, who is gleaner? Gleaner is a person who carries the harvested grains from one place to another. So the farmer has harvested the crop and now he wants to sell the crop. So this person, the person who carries the crops from one place to another, is called a gleaner. So the poet is saying that autumn, we can see you in the form of a gleaner as well, where you are carrying the whole bundle of crop on your head. And you are carrying it on your head, it is very heavy and steady, and you, while suppose if you are crossing a brook is what? A stream of water, and when you are crossing that flowing water, you are keeping your head steady, and we can see you in that form also. Okay, or by cider press. Now here this is the fourth personification. So now the poet is saying that autumn, we can also see you by a cider press. Now what is a cider press? Apples, when we have to take out the juice of that apple, it has to be pressed, compressed. So that kind of process is called a cider press. So we can see you beside a cider press with patient look. Why patient? You have a lot of patience. You know that this is the last thing that I am going to do now, seeing the juice of tasty apples coming out from the cider press, because I know that the next time I am going to come, it's in the next cycle of season. So after 1 year again I am going to come. So let me sit and enjoy the process of taking out the juice from the juicy apples. And thou watchest. Thou is, you are watching there, sitting there and you are watching. We can see that autumn is sitting there and watching the oozings, the juice coming out of the apple. Hours by hours, without even thinking or bothering about the time, you are relaxing and you are seeing all the things that are being harvested in this autumn season. So I hope you have understood this second stanza. In the next video, I will be explaining to you the meaning of the third stanza. Till then, by line, you just go through this poem once again. If you have any doubts, drop your doubt in the comment section and I will clarify your doubt. Till then, take care.